Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. Terrick El Guindy with the Mr. Olympia. Today we have the two-time Classic Physique Olympia Champion, Breon Ansley, with us. He is going to talk to us about his move to the 212. Good afternoon, Breon. How are you?
Great afternoon, Terrick and Flex and Shawn. How you guys doing? Good to be here, always.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Also with us, the 1987 national champion, Arnold Classic champion, Ironman champion, Shawn Ray. Good afternoon, Shawn Ray.
All right, baby. I had to stop in front of Starbucks. I needed a Wi-Fi connection. I was on the road.
Your
connect
seems to
I'm,
be.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Jamaica. I had to stop here at Starbucks and head to the airport. My sister is celebrating her 60 years out in Jamaica, so I'm on my way.
Really?
Nice.
Tell her I said hi, man. Tell her I said
Nice.
hi. Wow.
Yeah.
Also with us, the 1992 Mr. USA's fourth-time Arnold Classic champion, Flex Wheeler. Good afternoon, Flex.
How you guys doing, man? You know, I'm doing great.
Please,
Just playing with my little homies.
No John
Sultan
Moran.
of Symmetry.
No.
John Morant right now, man.
Yeah, really. Jeez. I'm John Wick, homie, the fourth.
John Wick.
No John Morant, please.
Yeah.
Hey, Shawn, here's the key question. This guy is very good in the Classic Physique. He won it 2 times. He's always on the first call out. He's always there. Now he's moving to the 212. Is this a good move or not?
Yeah, I told him to do it 2 years ago. I know you remember that too, because I thought he had done everything he needed to do after he won those 2 titles. And I was there for the one that he was. I think you were 4th in your first one, weren't you, Breon?
4th, yes.
Place.
Yeah.
So I watched the whole thing transpire. When he won his second, I said there was nowhere to go but down. And this is you've done this. We've seen this movie. Move up, man. You got everything it takes to, because the conditioning is so good. I thought he could beat some of those 212 guys. The 212 guys are rounder, but he had that Classic Physique look. He changed the shorts. He started out as a bodybuilder. He looked like a bodybuilder to me. He hit all the classic poses. But after checking those boxes twice in a row, I thought immediately after that he should have went to the 212 because he would have been formidable then, and I think he'll be formidable now. He waited a little long, took a couple, close calls there that I didn't think he should have suffered because he's still, to me, the physique is there. Now you change those trunks, the 212, he's gonna make it hard on some of those cats. I always thought he was gonna make it hard on him back then. I think even based on last year's performance, he would have fit nicely in that division. So I'm looking forward to it this year. I'm actually happy.
Flex, you're very familiar with Shawn Clarita's physique. You interviewed him after he won the 212 Olympia title. Do you think Breon Ansley has the potential of beating Shawn Clarita?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I've always said this. It's about matchups. So, as far as Shawn, he's going to have to deal with Breon's size, and he's a little bit taller than him. So, it's just a natural evolution for Breon to upgrade to the 212. It's about bodybuilding. A lot of these guys, and including Breon, had to damn near kill himself just to make weight, and it behooves me to train that hard, to go through that much sacrifice, to put on muscle, and then have to diet down just for a certain class. So it's about evolution. It's about maturity. His body is mature now. He's not the young guy anymore, and he's put on more size and density. So, I think he's going to be trouble. He thinks it's going to be big trouble.
Now, Shawn Ray, I'll go back to you before we go to Breon Ansley. There's a certain look on the 212, which if you look at the top guys, you look at Shawn Clarita, if you look at Ashkanani, Angel Calderon, who placed second, Kamal El Guindy, they're all shorter than Breon Ansley, and they all pack a lot of muscle. Is Breon Ansley going to be the different look on that lineup? Is he going to be the most aesthetic one, but the most streamlined guy on that lineup? Is that how you see it playing it out?
Yeah, I mean, Breon doesn't have to get a lot bigger, but he will be naturally because he's been losing muscle to make the weight category. He can present some problems for Shawn Clarita. Don't get it twisted. Shawn is the real deal, and he's got a resume of beating bigger guys that dates back several years, including the late Cedric McMillan. But Breon brings a different type of a look because he is still classic, And with a little bit more meat on the bone, we're going to see something we've never seen before, because for the past several years, he's had to sacrifice that size that Flex was talking about. When you don't have to sacrifice that size and you can actually let your body naturally fill out a little bit more, it's going to be a lot more impressive, because I don't think Breon's going to look smooth in that 212 division, but I know he's got a lot of room in that weight category to add a little bit more size, a little bit more fullness, and carry the conditioning, because he's always in shape. And that's going to be the big difference, because most of those other smaller 212 bodybuilders are compact and very stocky. Breon has those lines. There's a reason he won the Classic Physique twice, and he probably could have won it a third time. But going into the 212, and you change those shorts and you add a little bit more roundness, a little bit more fullness, and a little bit more muscle. He doesn't have to add a lot more. Breon, I'm not sure what you competed at, but I don't think you were competing at 200, were you?
No. I was about maybe 188, 189 when it came stage time.
If you're and barely if you're 195, it's going to be a whole different physique. 5 pounds on that frame. 5 pounds on that frame can make a big difference in terms of the look. He's always been in shape. No one's ever said he didn't come in shape. But he was competing against a living legend. We're watching what Chris Bumstead is doing, and it's legendary what he's doing in that category. It's going to be interesting, to say the least, in the 212, because Shawn Clarida being very formidable. But this is a matchup I've been waiting for 3 years to watch. So this is going to be really exciting.
Hey, Breon, you're a student of the game. You know this game of bodybuilding, better than most competitors who are currently active. You've been around. You turned pro as a bodybuilder. You went to Classic. You're back at 212. If I'm not mistaken, you did compete as a 212 previously, right?
Right. Yeah, that was in 2014.
You say that like it was a long time ago, man. You need to stop it. Dude,
Hey,
really?
that was 9 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Was that the 202 or the 212?
It was still 212 then, and it was at the New York Pro. Was the debut 212 debut, and I did terrible. Last place actually. It was a disqualification, so it was a nightmare.
So looking at the lineup, you got to beat Shawn Clarida, and then there's Keon Pearson, who's coming up. He's not going to be shorter than you. He's probably your height, but he might carry a little bit more density, especially on the side shots. What's your strategy? Are you going to be a lot bigger than what we're used to seeing you?
I don't believe a lot bigger. Like Shawn said, I don't need to be a lot bigger, but just I think if I'm doing the calculations of where I'm at now and where I would need to be as sharp as attack when it comes stage time, I would probably say that's going to be around 200 pounds. So that is quite a bit of more pounds, man. When you're talking about around 10 more pounds of muscle mass it's able to formulate properly and not have to suffer the loss of muscle like it was with Classic. So yeah, I think it's going to be around 200, maybe even a 205. And I think that's going to be quite a different look, man, that's going to be pretty impressive and that I'm excited to see.
Did you ask my opinion? Wait, did you just ask my opinion? I could have sworn.
No, he didn't.
You asked my opinion. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Listen, you do not listen. I don't know one successful bodybuilder that's put on 10 pounds in a year and had great success. Flex being the exception, but there's only one. There is only one Flex. We've never seen it since, and I've never missed the Olympia in 36 years. Let me tell you, Breon, if you were in the high 180s, I'm saying at tops, 195 is the number. But you really don't have to look at the scale, because I think you're naturally going to be less than 212. If you come in with this big jump, what your marquee trademark is that you're conditioned.
Right.
And it's going to be hard to hold that condition with an extra 10 pounds or even 15 pounds. I wouldn't even be paying attention to the scale. But if I did towards the end, 195 is more reasonable, more realistic, that you can carry the condition, illuminate the muscles to a 3D size, and still you're going to get there on condition. I made the mistake trying to come in bigger, and I came in softer. I was bigger, I was rounder, but being softer, it's a deadly game up there. It only takes one guy to beat you. And Shawn Clarida is going to he's going to come tight, and he's like 177. You're a little bit taller. You don't have to add 10 more pounds to win and dominate this division. You want to be competitive? Stay close to that condition you were in without losing that extra muscle mass. But 10, 15 pounds, it's not going to translate to the condition you think. Because, again, you hold it in your you'll hold it in your hamstrings. You'll hold it in your butt. And it's an area you don't want to carry it in. Flex, you're familiar with that. And if you're smooth there, sometimes it's lights over. So 5-6 pounds, I think, is better for you.
And I if I can echo in on that, I agree. The scale shouldn't be a factor, right? We've always said the best scale is the mirror. Like you said, you're going to be a completely different guy. I don't even know what to expect putting on that type of size and everything. That's exactly what I was going to say. If we can go back and look at some of his photos of maybe 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, then we can probably get a more indication of what he's really going to look like. You have the potential over years to be able to put on, the potential 20 pounds and not even be out of that category. Like Shawn said, 5-7 pounds, you're a completely different guy. So I don't even know what to expect. I don't think condition is going to be a problem because actually I think one of your gifts is to be able to come in that type of condition. So I don't think that's ever going to be a problem with you. I don't ever think you and Chris would ever make a mistake where you came in heavier and sacrificed condition. Only you and Chris really knows. Whatever you look like, 2 weeks out from a show, 3 weeks out from a show, that gives you a good idea of what your weight's going to be. But as long as you bring that trademark condition in, this is going to be super exciting. And like it's a marathon, not a sprint. And just know that you got time to slowly just pack on size. But I don't think it's going to be as difficult as maybe Shawn is alluding to, because we don't know what you look like 2 and 3 weeks out from a show. And I have reason to believe that you're in fairly great condition 2-3 weeks out. So my question is, what was your weight around there? And now that you're gunning for a heavier class, that means you don't have to do like the zero carbs that I've heard you have to do for a month or whatever out to get that conditioning and everything. So regardless, man, I think it's going to be exciting. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Shawn, because we have an ideal of what Shawn can bring to the table. We have absolutely no idea what you can bring to the table with that much more size and more room to play with.
But when you're talking 10 to 15 pounds in a year, I have not heard of one success story with the exception of what you did it back in the day. And it's very hard to do, and it's very hard to repeat. Mohammed bin Aziza comes to mind. Mohammed bin Aziza beat Dorian Yates at a much lighter weight in 1990 at the Night of Champions than when he got to Helsinki, Finland in 92. And ultimately, a couple shows thereafter, he got a lot heavier, kind of smoother. I'd like to see Breon a little bit bigger, but I'm afraid that if he comes in bigger and tries to put on 10 pounds, it's going to be more water retentive, and that's going to be to his detriment.
Right.
Yeah, and to echo what I was saying, and I'll give you back the floor, Terrick. In time, I don't think this is something he's going to do in a matter of however many months. What we talking, 6-7 months or something like that? I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying in time, he has so much room. I mean, literally in time, right? And if his body accepts it and everything, you're talking close to 20 pounds this man can put on. I don't think he'll ever get to that size or anything. He doesn't have to, but you're talking about a complete different look of a person, man. That's going to be frightening,
So what you guys are saying is that even though he's not going to be anywhere near 212, he could be 200, max 205. We're going to see
195.
A completely different bodybuilder than what we're used to seeing at the Classic Physique. That's what you guys are stating.
Well, what I'm saying is like Labrada, and I can only go on personal experience, Labrada and Benaziza before him and some of the smaller guys were only there because of their conditioning, not because they were bigger. Breon doesn't have to be bigger. He doesn't have to be so much bigger to beat Shawn Clarida. Shawn's 177.
I agree.
Shawn, we just the same way that we're talking about Breon Ansley being conditioned, we can't really forget about the fact that Shawn Clarida has been really consistent about conditioning. Keon Pearson has not been consistent, but Shawn Clarida has. So if the conditioning is up to par on both of them and Shawn Clarida has more density, where is Breon Ansley going to beat Shawn Clarida? Is he going to look more aesthetically pleasing?
This is what we've been waiting for. This is what I've been talking about. I was saying this when Shawn won his first Classic 212 championship, that Breon needs to go get that matchup, because this is the matchup that you want. It's kind of like when you get these fighters in the boxing or in the UFC. They're both at their best when they're competing or standing next to each other, because now we're forced to choose which one we're going to like. I think Breon's a little wider. I think he's a little bit more longer in certain areas. Shawn tends to get smaller here. He's a little thinner in the chest, and his calves and his hamstring aren't as strong as Breon's. But then again, he's got a lot of muscle, and he's got a lot of vascularity and a lot of separation. Breon, if he puts on a bunch of size, he may lose that. And that's where Shawn might be able to beat him. Shawn beats guys on condition, not on his size. So Breon's got to be careful with that mix.
So Breon, you're not moving divisions because you want to play second, third, or fourth. If you're on that first call out, hypothetically speaking, you're on that first call out. Keon Piercing is massive. He looked massive on that first call out. And then you guys like Angel Calderon, who plays second. He's huge. I think he's 4 feet tall and he weighs 212. He is massive. Shawn Clarida is smaller in terms of his height, but he has a crazy density. You might be the most aesthetically pleasing guy there, but you're about to give a lot of density on some poses. What's your strategy to beat some of these guys? Granted, if they're all conditioned, and Shawn Clarida has displayed consistent conditioning.
Well, Terrick, I would have to disagree with you on giving up density and giving up muscle mass as now that I'm really going to able to, see my true potential, see my true density that I have and that I've been lacking over the past couple of years in Classic. So as far as density that you think that they might outmatch me on, I'm going to have to disagree with you, because I think now once I'm able to not lose muscle, right? Not lose a single solitary pound of muscle and hold on to all my muscle from all these hard ass Chris Cormier years of training. Then the density factor, and remember, I'm just as old or even older than some of these guys. So my maturity is right there with them. And I think that can outmatch theirs. That definitely can beat theirs and can dominate theirs as far as maturity, as far as density. So that I think that takes care of that part. Now we already know that. Now you're talking about being sharp, right? And in condition, I'm going to be able to be a lot sharper now that I'm not going to have to lose muscle. I'm going to be able to get sharp and get refined by holding on to all my muscle instead of losing it. Now, you thought I was sharp in Classic, and you thought that I was able to be in fairly great conditioning in Classic. Just wait till you see now the sharpness and the lines that I'm going to be able to display in the 212 division now that I'm going to be able to hold on to all the muscle and not kill myself with hours and hours and hours of cardio and eating,
Well,
1,400 calories a day.
That's what I want to caution you on, Breon, because this is not a challenge that you need to take as if it's going to be easier, because you can naturally just weigh in. Sometimes when you don't have the scale, sometimes when you're not thinking about make the weight division, you get comfortable because you feel like you can eat more. You feel like the cardio is going to make you smaller. You feel like, instead of an hour of cardio, I'm just going to do 30 minutes of cardio. And then you ultimately show up and you look like Keon. Keon's kind of a promise that hasn't been kept on that Olympia stage in terms of conditioning. Keon is big and he's round and he's full and he gets up there and the skin is not tight enough. The muscle density is not there because he's heavier and he's carrying that thin film of water and the separation is not there. Don't get lazy on what you've done, because you literally need to come in like you always have and eat a little bit more. But I would not try to back off my cardio because I want to put on extra weight, eat more food because I want to come in bigger. You got to train even harder. We know how you look. We know what you're capable of. You come in smooth and rounder, it doesn't translate. When you hit the muscles, they don't pop like they used to. You're going to be right there with Keon in the past. Keon has to get in shape. And to do that, he's got to do more cardio. He's got to do more posing in the posing room.
So a quick
No, I most
question
definitely
here.
agree.
Keon Pearson looked very dense, massive, but his conditioning was not there. Flex Wheeler, does Breon Ansley, based on his historical consistency on conditioning, does he beat Keon Pearson?
Yeah, definitely. And as we're debating this in front of Breon, he's never said that he wasn't going to diet as hard. I didn't hear that from him. I never heard him say
cardio.
that I'm going to. Yeah, and I never. So I never heard any of that. I think what he's saying is, and I agree, it's going to be a little bit easier because he doesn't have to kill himself. So if I know anything about Breon and I know something about Chris, I don't think that's going to be the case. And as far as density, we've never seen him with the ability to carry on this. So it's going to be so much of a what if factor. But I don't think you're going to make that mistake, Breon. I don't think you're not going to have your foot on the gas the whole entire time. I don't think you're going to not light the fire as much. I don't see that, and I didn't hear that. I think you are very much aware of what Shawn is saying. And I agree with Shawn. If you do any of those things, you effed up, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. I think what I hear you saying is, and knowing just a little bit about your personal diet, you've had to kill yourself. So now all you have to do now is work on doing what you've always done and not starve. You don't have to do the freaking crazy 5 weeks, 0 carbs. And I have a question for you. 2 weeks out, when you're on target for your best look ever, what was your heaviest weight around 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out?
Yeah. Just 2 weeks out, when I have to get down to 180, right, in Classic, I'm still at around 194, 194, 195, still 15 pounds to go about 2 weeks out.
Right. And so what I mean by that is, and I'm sorry to cut you out, what I mean by that is that's you knowing that you got to drop down into the 180s. So now the whole different diet and structure is different because you know you don't have to. So again, I don't think that's going to be a problem. That's not what I'm hearing whatsoever. I'm just hearing that you have more room to allow your body to do what it's always done, which is being big and in shape, but you've always had to shrink down. So now you lost muscle, you lost density, and the muscle isn't pushing against the sub-Q skin where it's even tighter. So all I'm hearing is the same hard work I had to do before, but I don't have to lose all these gains that you guys never been able to witness that I've carried.
1,000%. And Shawn is right. Flex, you're right. The work ethic and the conditioning and the sharpness will definitely not be compromised at all.
I don't think. What is your off-season weight?
Right now, I'm 222.
So just a small comparison. I used to walk around at 235 in the off-season, but when I dieted down, I didn't use the scale. I used the mirror, like Flex said. I used the mirror, and I wound up at 212. I wound up at 204. I wound up at 206. So
right.
Comparatively speaking, if you're not paying attention to the scale, because you're not going to come in at 212, you know that. Naturally, you're not going to be 212. So hopefully you can come down to where you're comfortable without killing yourself, but you get your weight down early, and then you can kind of cruise into it rather than, like you said earlier, crash to make this 188, whatever weight class that is. I'd get my weight down early, and then you don't have to worry about the weight. You're just really concentrating on the mirror, because once you get down to somewhere around the 200 pound, you got a lot of wiggle room to kind of do your thing. But I'd get that 200 pound weeks out from the show.
Oh, absolutely. That's always been, what we have wanted to do, but didn't have the ability to do, weren't afforded to do, because no matter how I looked, right? No matter how I looked,
I had to drop that weight.
Yeah, it's about the scale, and it's about where's the weight at, and so that's thrown out of the window. But I agree 1,000%.
Shawn, Flex Wheeler said, "I believe Breon Ansley is beating Keon Pearson." My question to you is, you're a huge fan. Well, I just asked you.
I said condition-wise, and we have to go off of the past, right? We can't go off of what if. What if doesn't work? What if this? What if that? And what if anything? So we're just going off of previously what they've done. Now, I will say this. If Keon ever comes into what we feel that he has a potential, everybody looked at F out. I mean, that's just crazy. But he hasn't delivered yet. So yes, as of right now, I'm banking on Breon coming in better shape than him.
So you're
So what's
banking
the
on
question?
Breon beating.
There you go, Shawn. So what's the question?
So what's the question? What's the question?
The
Do you
question
think
is
I
this,
can beat?
Shawn
Do
Ray.
you think I can beat Keon, Shawn?
Let me
No,
tell you.
no. I want Shawn to answer this. Flex already answered that he thinks Breon can beat Keon Pearson. Now, Shawn Ray, is Breon Ansley, do you think Breon Ansley is going to beat this guy at the 2023 Mr. Olympia?
Well, watching Keon on that stage, for me,
Oh
Keon
no,
has
he has
the best.
Kamal. He has Kamal up there now.
Are you saying Kamal or Keon?
Kamal.
Oh yeah, Kamal. He'd struggle against Breon. Kamal is good. Breon is great. Kamal's won that.
Different.
Kamal has won that title already. But I believe that Breon has a better package than Kamal. So if Kamal can win it, of course I believe that Breon can. I think the better matchup is going to be him against Keon.
Yeah.
Because I personally believe Keon has the best physique on the stage. He just has the worst conditioning out of all of the guys. And I said the same about Cedric McMillan. Me and Lee Haney both agreed Cedric should have been Mr. Olympia. He had all the tools, but when it came to that stage at the Olympia, the stage was just too big for him on timing. And that's what we don't know about Breon going into this new division, because the last time he was there, he tanked. Now he's coming back. Is the stage or the lights going to be too big? Is the moment going to be too big? There's a lot that goes into going into a Mr. Olympia trying to win a title. So Keon has the best advantage physique-wise. I mean, the swoops on his thighs, the tiny waist, the massive arms that are full. He's round and he's full. He can't get hard, and he may never get hard. Breon, we've seen him hard. We've seen him in condition, and we've seen him as an Olympia champion. He knows what victory tastes like. This is a show that we see this. We should have saw this a couple of years ago, but now it's finally arrived, and now he realizes that, the sand is ticking. He's up against the clock now at his age. And Shawn Clarita is a young, hungry lion to try to defend that title for the third time. But I actually believe Breon could beat Keon on conditioning. That's the reason I think he could beat a better bodybuilder. I think Keon's the better bodybuilder. I think Breon's the better condition, and condition wins on that stage on the day.
How old is Shawn? Shawn isn't that young, right? Clarita. How old is he?
He's younger than Breon.
He is younger than me. I think Shawn's 30. I think Shawn is like 38, 39, 40, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, in that division, Kamal's 50, 51.
Damn.
Yeah, Kamal's doing the Masters. Kamal's doing the Masters Olympia.
Yeah. So you're talking about some density that we'll have there. Muscle maturity.
We have a good question here from William Amarquai. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, William. He has a good question. Did Breon get an invite? He still needs to qualify, right? So did you get an invite? Do you need a qualification?
I still need to holler at Dan and Jake about it. No, I have not reached out to them yet.
I think you should qualify. I said the same thing
you want an invitation. Bob Ciccarello and Shawn Ray, they love these invitations. Yeah. They can file.
No, I hate them. I hate them. I want to see Breon win a 212 title so that nobody can talk shit.
He's baiting you. I know.
Yeah. I know, but I don't want people saying that he got a free pass to the 212. I felt he could win a 212 contest. Who was the other guy? Derek Lunsford. When Derek got the pass last year, I was beside myself because we knew he could win. We knew he could win a 212 show. So why are you giving him a free pass when everyone else has to earn it? Breon, even though he's a Classic Physique champion, he's now doing a totally different division. This is a different division. So I think he should qualify. It'll be a good test. It'll be fire underneath him, and it'll be a victory in his pocket. I mean, it's only fair to the guys that have to earn their way.
I thought, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're a judge and everything, you're official. I thought a previous Mr. Olympia has a lifetime invite.
Not under a different division, though, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No, man, listen. At the end of the day, go do a 212 show and win. I remember Kamal did that too, and he was already a champion.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing because it only helps you dial in and figure out where can your weight really be. I don't think it's an actual. The key
question is, if Derek Lunsford got it, and he won the 212 one time, why wouldn't Breon Ansley get it if he actually won the Classic Physique twice?
I don't think the
I agree
question
with the
is
two different
will he get an
divisions.
invite. I don't think the question would be whether he
No,
get an invite. I think he
I
would.
understand. I understand. Shawn Ray and Bob Ciccarello, they've been taking
They're
Xanax
haters.
after this in
They
special
hate it.
invitation. They hate these special invitations. And listen,
Stupid.
it's up to debate, and I think they do have a point. Some people have other points, and they think it enriches the sport. My question to you guys is this: if Derek Lunsford, who won the 212 one time, got an invitation to compete in another category, wouldn't Breon, who won the Classic Physique twice, be consistently able to get the same invitation?
Of course.
Well, I think you're going Classic Physique to bodybuilding. He went 212 to open bodybuilding. That's why I didn't like it. It sets a precedent. Because when we start doing this with our women's fitness girls that want to be bikini chicks because they're getting older, it's going to be a problem. I think Breon's capable of winning a show. I think he should actually go and have to qualify and test the waters and show us what he's capable of. I think he could win the 212 Olympia. So naturally, I think he could win any other 212 show out there.
Hey, Terrick, is
we got to be
Derek the
careful
only
giving
one?
invites. Yes, he was.
Let me ask you, Terrick, is Derek the only one that has gotten the special invite that we can think of?
No, I got a special invite to the
Gunter,
Classic.
Flex Wheeler got it. Kevin Levrone got it.
Yeah,
Gunter was able to win shows, and he got special invitations. Now, going back to you, Breon, let me see here. I want to give a shout out to this competitor, Lola Montez. Man, I did Olympia News. Lola Montez, she was a figure. She just won Toronto. My God, Lola Montez, you're an incredible competitor. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, look at the pictures of this woman. She can challenge Sidney Gillian. Here's a question, Breon. It goes back to you. Do you want to compete and earn your qualification, or do you want an invitation?
I think I'm willing to do. I am willing to compete at another show and earn the qualification. That's not a problem. But since it has been done before, I think I have definitely earned the right to go straight to the top show, the best show in the world. And since I believe I can win that best show in the world, I think it's it's not such a bad idea to go straight to it either. Because if you get the special invitation, you can do it at the Hawaiian Classic on Shawn Ray's stage. You'll love that. I'm sure
I only have
a problem with that.
have Classic Physique. I have Classic Physique. You're doing open
well,
when is the
212? You don't have 212.
When is the Shawn Ray Classic?
It's 2 weeks after the Olympia, and if you could suck down and make the weight, you can come from the open 212 back down to Classic.
Shawn, you should just open a 212 category.
No, that's not happening.
Let me tell you why I'm not doing 212. There's just not enough of them that are interested in doing the work. I've been to too many shows where there's 212 categories, and you wind up with 4 guys showing up. Where are they at? They show up at the Olympia, but they don't support the promoters that actually give them a chance to get to the Olympia. So I chose Classic Physique.
Oh, I agree with that. In the standpoint of where the damn athletes at, and that's hopefully something that I can help bring more spark, man, to this division. It needs it. It's kind of like an afterthought, if you ask me, division. So I look to bring some personality to it, some bounce to it.
Have you spoken to your coach, trainer coach Chris Cormier? Do you guys envision yourselves doing a show, or what's going on?
I spoke to Chris about it, and we talked about going straight to the Olympia. We also talked about Chris would actually like to see me do another show before the Olympia. He expressed to me. So
isn't Chris in the background there eating donuts with you?
Chris, come here, Chris. He fell on the ground, and he's not even. So
the deal.
Here's the deal. We got here Chris Cormier. You are Breon Ansley's trainer, and you've been a mentor to him. This guy has accomplished tremendously in bodybuilding. I saw him turning pro. I saw him winning the LA championships. Is he doing a 212 show, or do you want him to get the invitation?
I mean, I wouldn't mind invitation, but I think it'd be good to see him up there where you can better have a better idea and direction on moving forward if you went out there and did a show first. Then they'd be okay. I can make adjustments, or I can do something like that, just to have that behind you. One thing I do is I gotta virtually slap the shit out of Shawn for saying the word lazy behind Breon's name. Breon is not.
Did he ever say
No.
lazy?
No,
Lazy.
when you take, I said,
Don't go on the show lazy.
He said,
Don't go on the show
Breon, you
lazy.
said,
Let me
I
tell
don't.
you.
Breon said, I don't have to do as much cardio, and I said, don't be lazy.
talk.
Go ahead.
That boy is a machine.
Chris standing up now. Damn, Chris,
Bro,
sit down, dog.
That's Iowa State Breon.
I know, right?
Terrick, look at you,
He
Terrick.
won player. Something that you didn't do out of El Dorado
That's
High
true.
School.
Oh,
I just went to the Hall of Fame.
Gosh,
There.
oh my God.
And not only that, I seen this guy do I seen him do 0 carbs for 6 weeks out there in Kuwait in the
I know
heat,
it's legit.
smiling the whole time, smiling every day. I was like, man, what's wrong with this dude, man? It's like, hey. But
no,
hard
Shawn
work-
knows that there won't be. And Shawn knows that there won't be any laziness with.
I know.
And
Here's the thing. I saw Flex. Flex would do 3 hours of cardio sometimes, and pull his thing open and the water would just drip out.
Yeah.
If the great
That's
Flex
'cause he
Wheeler was
had
doing
to.
a lot of cardio.
That's
No,
'cause
but
you
it
know
worked for him.
cheeseburgers in between.
Hey.
That's true. That's
Hey,
true.
hey, don't be mad. Hey, since we throwing a little crap, and I know Terrick is gonna love this because I never say anything. Chris, don't be mad because my record's better than yours. Hamburgers are not better. Just sit down, dog. Just sit down. Hey, Terrick, you happy?
man.
I did that for Terrick.
Oh,
Terrick, you so
man.
damn happy, ain't you?
Man,
Look
hey,
at
man,
that Terrick is crazy happy with that
Bye,
comment.
Chris.
You
Bye,
know what
Chris.
we're gonna do?
He said, I
Here we
got his
go.
bit in there.
We're gonna
Now
go back
I
and
have
Music
Yeah.
man is ready.
we're gonna go back and
Let's
rejudge
Chris
some
is
of these.
sat down now.
We're gonna go back
Chris
on
is sat
Prime
down
Time Muscle, and we're gonna rejudge some of these shows and see what we
Here
come
we
up
go.
with. How about
Here we
that?
go.
Hey,
How about that?
it's in the record books already. It don't matter. You know what? I absolutely
Yeah.
care.
Just for fun.
Not
Just for
what
fun.
they say
Let's see
now.
what-
It's what
Just
Let's see what the
Look at
fans
Chris,
have to
for
say
fun.
now.
I'm just
for
gonna
fun.
say this. Since
We
I'm
got-
gonna make
we don't
Terrick
have-
happy, right?
we don't have-
I'm gonna make
we don't
Terrick
have no-
happy again. Hey, there's only one
Chris,
person who's ever got 4 Lifetime Achievement Awards, and you talking to him, homie.
Mm.
So as far as the records that I won, it don't matter. Hey, listen. Also, Terrick, you gonna love
Pity
this.
party,
You
pity
talking to the
party.
man. You talking to the man who has the best
I'll work you
pro
all the
debut
time. Flex,
in
look at the
the
video.
history of our entire
Look at the
sport.
videos.
So
Hey.
whoever's going to break my record,
Let's run it back. Let's do
Run
this
it back.
shit.
That's what I
Let's
Let's
say.
run
Hey,
it back
Shawn.
this year.
Run it back
Let's
right
get
now.
Breon.
Run it back
Chris,
right
you know,
now.
I know,
Hey,
Chris,
I'm-
you know I love you.
Okay,
I'm
but
making a
listen.
challenge.
Hey,
I was-
come on, man.
The new
He's back,
edition.
Chris. He's
Oh,
back.
shit.
All right, he's back, homie. No.
Hey, I'm inviting both of you to Hawaii. We're
But
gonna have a
listen,
pose down.
but listen,
Good idea.
You ain't
listen.
never invited me. Hey,
But
I'm
listen,
inviting you.
listen.
Pose down with Chris.
but listen, I
Go
wasn't
ahead. Come
for
on, Chris.
Hey, Chris,
But
I'll
you
do a
knew-
pose down with you on stage. I'm gonna be wearing like some
Hey, you remember the
khakis,
last time we did that in
that
the
are baggy. I'm gonna be wearing a big balloon pants.
remember we did
No.
that at the-
You guys got to get up there and strip everything down.
With the hotel
Wait,
in
hold
New
on,
York,
hold on.
we did that.
Let me get serious for a second, Chris. Earlier we asked what Breon should come in. He mentioned 10 to 15 pounds heavier
Again, let
in
me
one
tell you
single
about that.
year.
Sean, let me tell
What
you
weight
about
do you
that.
He
what
didn't
weight do
say
you want him
that.
to come in? What
He
weight?
didn't say that, Shawn.
No, he said
didn't
10.
say
He
that.
said 200. He said 200 or 205. That's 15 pounds.
Let me tell you what happens. When this guy is in shape, he's 95. The attributes of his body is out of this world. Okay, but
How
he's
much does he
still
weigh?
195.
That's what I said. I said that 195.
But listen, he turned pro at 176. So his whole career, the last 7 years or so, has been played with 4 pounds.
Stifling
Since
himself.
being a middleweight.
Yeah.
Since being a middleweight.
Right.
And being up there, that to win the title with only being able to play with 4 pounds. I mean, at best, he's been 82 to 85 on stage. No heavier. He's never made it heavier. Okay. And some of those times he did some dumbass things to get down to that weight, in my opinion.
You have to make the weight or you can't compete. Right.
Respectfully.
Hey, Hey, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of cardio.
Listen, if you miss the weight, you don't get on stage.
Right.
Yeah,
And that was ridiculous. That's been ridiculous for my body.
But now I always tell him, I said, you're not being able to bodybuild. You can bodybuild now. Now we see a different Breon, and I'm telling you, he has a lot of fibers, as you did, Flex, in your back. He is a back double bicep, like you did, very, very, very good. And no disrespect for you, Flex. I know you're the killer, man.
Oh no, dude. You know we playing.
You pushed me, brother. But I pushed you in that gym too.
Oh,
but
hell
at the end of the day, Breon's got all of that in him. I've been instilling that in him for many years. Breon's a dog. He's a dog on everything he does.
Chris, I told you that 2 years ago. I told him he should go 212. 2 years ago, I said.
Chris again.
I did to him. Ask him.
Yeah.
I've been telling him. I'll
echo that. He hasn't been able to bodybuild for his entire career, so we have no idea of the true density and size as he's going to be able to carry, huh?
Yeah,
True.
He's trying to push me out the way. I'm gonna let it get his little seat back. But
I can't even believe you two are in the same room right now.
I'm about to go to the airport right now, y'all. I'm out of here.
Oh, you out there? You traveling somewhere?
I'm up.
I'm
going
in
back
Arizona,
home.
right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Hey man, this guy gets so emotional every time we talk about Breon Ansley.
No, I just want people to know
Why
the real.
shouldn't he be?
You gotta know what's happening. The real.
Yeah, we just gotta know the real. That's all, Terrick. With this, we just telling them the real.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Care,
the real, man.
Watch prime time.
My last thing is, Terrick. I don't think we can actually. Go ahead, Terrick. Sorry.
I want to get down to business here. Breon Ansley, bodybuilding. You've won the Classic Physique. You also won the USA's middleweight. I was there when you turned pro. Are you winning the 212 in 2023?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I'm not going in there for anything else, for any other placing, for any other goal. Yes, I am winning it in 2023.
Shawn Ray, you know the 212 better than anybody. You are the greatest 212 of all times. If Breon Ansley is 100%, 195 pounds or 200 pounds, is he winning the 212 in 2023 in beating Shawn Clarida?
It's going to be tough. He's got some things working in his advantage. I mean, some people, they have kids. Shawn just had a kid, so he could be preoccupied playing daddy, and a little bit, this Breon's coming off of a tough, humble loss, right? And he's trying to find his way and climb his way back up there to get that title. He knows what it's like to feel like Olympia champion, but Shawn Clarida knows what it's like to be the Olympia champion. And I think having two guys that are two totally different, that have two different purposes. Shawn's got to feed his little kid, the newborn. He's hungry. He was in there battling it out with Big Ramy just a couple of months ago at the Arnold Classic. Breon's going into uncharted waters where he should have been a long time ago. I wanted him there. Now that he's going, I'm excited to see this matchup. This is what I want to see. I can't really pick a winner because they have so much going on for the title that there's really not a lot of minuses. The only minus that I think could work against Breon is that he comes in too heavy. If he doesn't come in too heavy, this is a title he can win, but he's got to go through the condition of Shawn Clarida. So I can't. This is a flip him right now.
And I agree with that. If I'm not sharp as a tack, sharper than I've ever been, then it's not going to happen. I most definitely agree with that 1,000%.
Otherwise, you have all the physical attributes.
Flex Wheeler, in no particular order, who do you think is going to be the top three on the 212 in 2023? In no particular order, just give me three names that you think are going to be battling for the title.
Breon, Shawn, and Keon.
Sounds good.
Ladies and Keon still have to qualify? Keon still's got to qualify to get there, correct?
He's competing in a couple of weeks. Yeah, he's competing in a couple of weeks.
It's not a guarantee. And when he did qualify one year, he didn't compete. Remember that?
I'm just answering this question. Those are my top three. I agree with everything you're saying. Everything is a what if, but that's my top three.
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, Breon Ansley is one of the greatest physiques we've seen in the Classic Physique. I witnessed this man winning the LA championship as a light heavy. He came in at the USA's as a middleweight, and he earned his professional qualification. He was one of the pioneers in the classic physique. And as Chris Bumstead said, I am good now because of Breon Ansley. I chased him down every single day. In my personal opinion, Breon Ansley in all bodybuilding right now has one of the best back double biceps in terms of detail. And we are going to be watching him on the 212, whether it's an invitation or where he gets a qualification. But one thing is for sure, the excitement will be there when this man steps on stage, because his physique is incredible and his posing might be the best on that division, even though he has not competed on that division. That's how good he is. I want to thank you, my co-hosts, Shawn Ray, 1987 national champion, Ironman champion, Arnold Classic champion. I want to thank my co-host, Flex Wheeler, 1992 champion, 5-time Arnold Classic champion. I also want to thank my co-host from Prime Time Muscle, 4-time Ironman champion, Chris Cormier, and Breon Ansley's trainer for joining us. My name is Terrick El Guindy with the Mr. Olympia, and the 212 will be one of the most exciting categories in the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Breon Ansley, we are waiting for you.
Thank you guys so very much. All the love and much respect. And let's rumble. Let's rumble.
Shawn,